Movie review number 1439 is A Little Prayer. A Little Prayer is a 2025 movie that is directed by Angus McLachlan. Maclachlan. Angus McLachlan. So this movie has Music Box Films and Remain Home Productions. I saw this movie on September 7th, 2025 at Mariemont Theatre in Mariemont, Ohio. So, this movie is about Tammy and her husband David. They lead a quiet life in Winston-Salem, North Carolina, where they share a home with David's parents, Bill and Fernanda. David and Bill work together at the same company, and they have always been closely involved in each other's lives. And Bill and Fernanda really like Tammy, and they really like that she is their daughter-in-law. However, things take a little bit of a turn when Bill starts to suspect that David might be straying in this marriage. In other words, Bill begins to suspect that David might be having an affair. Uh-oh. So Bill is drawn into a relationship minefield, and he's caught between wanting to protect his daughter-in-law and trying to understand his son. He does not know for sure if David is cheating on Tammy, but if he is, Bill is wanting to protect Tammy from this, but at the same time, he does not know what to do. He is caught between this situation, and he has to figure out whether he should protect Tammy more or try to understand his son more. Now, I won't say what happens, or if David really is having an affair or not. I won't say if he does or not. But it's pretty interesting to see how far Bill will go to figure out the truth between his son and whether or not he should tell Tammy or not, based on what he had found. So, as Bill confronts the women's patriarchal influence, he is also forced to reckon with disheartening behavioral patterns that may be transcending generations. So, what will Bill do? This was a pretty good movie, in my opinion. So this movie has David Strawhorn as Bill, Jane Levi as Tammy, Celia Weston portrays Fanita, Will Poland portrays David, Anna Camp portrays Patty, Dacia Polanetko portrays Nancy Delia, and Billy Roy portrays Hadri. So this is an independent movie from Music Box Films, and it's a movie that features a family. David with his wife Tammy sharing a home with David's parents, Bill and Finita. Now the family seems to be very close. Of course, things take a little bit of a turn for a couple of reasons. Not only when Bill starts to suspect that David might be having an affair, but things also take a little bit of a turn when when Bill and Finita's other child, Patty, unexpectedly shows up. Patty with her daughter unexpectedly show up, and they suspect that something is going on between Patty and her husband, which it is. So with the arrival of Patty, and Bill suspecting that David might be cheating on Tammy, it just throws things into chaos. But the main point I like to say is that I won't say what will really happen, but it's pretty interesting to see how far Bill will go to uncover the truth. He is trying to understand his son, and he may see some signs that David might be acting a little differently. Like, for instance, David might be out more of the time than Bill is, even though they work at the same company. And there's some other things that Bill finds out later in the movie that kind of might determine whether or not David will be having an affair or not. But what will happen to Tammy? Will she still be with David despite everything that happened? Will nothing happen at all? I'll let you guys see the movie for yourselves. It was pretty interesting to see how this movie played out. But I really liked the relationship between Bill and Tammy in the movie. Tammy is very warm-hearted, and Bill really likes that. That's why Bill is torn on whether or not he should tell Tammy about this or not, based on what he had found. But yeah, this was a pretty good movie. So that's my movie review of a little prayer, preaching truth from this movie review. Alright, goodbye.